The Asset Protection Security Services was managed by Mrs. Tmpd Marota, the group head in the Office of the City Manager. 1st July 2024, the City Manager transferred the Asset Protection Security Service back to the care of Tshwane Metropolitan Police Department. I then instructed Deputy Commissioner Bollys, responsible for training and innovation, and standing in as the staff officer, to oversee this process in light of the imperative need for a senior figure at the level of a rank of Deputy Commissioner to manage the process, which comprised of a wide range of junior level officials. It might also note that in terms of APSS, there is a lot of supervisory staff that is still required. This was intended to be a temporary measure while I started the process to appoint a fully fledged Deputy Commissioner for Asset Protection Security Services. At the time of the handover of APSS back to Tmpd, 1st July 2024, I did not receive a handover report. A report was then emailed to me by Group Head Tmpd Marota 9 months later during April 2025. What this meant, Commissioners, is that for the longest time, I could not properly acquaint myself with what was happening with APSS. However, I did not wait for a handover report to try and understand the complexity of APSS. The process of handover was not a usual handover, which had clear guidelines and made the process extremely complicated, as can be seen by the email attached and the report marked herein as Annexer YF2, which is in the bundle. As I stated above, the APSS is a huge responsibility. Bearing in mind, Commissioners, I still have a Tmpd to run. And as could be imagined, involves the physical security services to protecting the assets and persons of the city of Tshwane. It was imperative for me that I get someone senior in rank to temporarily oversee, as I already alluded to, and that was Deputy Commissioner Bollys, and he was overseeing the unit from 1st of July 2024 until 28th of February 2025, whereas 1st of March 2025, I've appointed Deputy Commissioner Revo Spies, and he became the head of the unit.
Sorry, Commissioner, if you turn to page 60 of the file that you have, file 1, is that the report that you got, that you are referring to?
Just say again the annexer?
YF2.
YF2.
At page 60.
That is correct. And if you can just go to page 65, is the email that accompanied the report.
Thank you, and we'll come back to it later on. Thank you. Please proceed.
When you say you'll come back to the report itself?
To the report, to interrogate it and research. Unless the Commissioner has specific questions, we can deal with it.
I do have one question, but I'm happy to leave it until you get back to it.
I think in fairness, you can ask,
okay.
Commissioner.
All right. Commissioner, at page 60, that report, so paragraph 3, that very first paragraph in quotes, the implementation of the, you see where I'm reading, Commissioner?
Is it by the background? Yes, on the Commissioner.
And then the very first paragraph in quotes, it says the implementation of the processes regarding the absorption of security guards is a critical deliverable for this administration. Extensive consultation and discussion have taken place on this matter to ensure it occurs seamlessly. And then the next paragraph, it says, it is for this reason that I took the decision to place this process in the office of the city manager through Pillay, Mr. Pillay. You see where I'm reading? That absorption, is that what is commonly or has been commonly referred to as insourcing of security?
Commissioner, I prefer...
Is it the same thing?
Yes, Commissioner, I prefer the word in-house capacity, building in-house capacity.
Yes.
So yes, Commissioner, that is correct. We have 1,271 of that at the moment, and we intend to actually build more in-house capacity so that we cannot be reliant moving forward on outsourcing
Yes,
anymore.
that actually is really my question. It is, if this big decision was made to insource, these are people that were previously provided by contractors, as I imagine. These people that are now being insourced, they were previously procured on contracted services, right?
Yes, yes.
And
yes,
now
yes,
you bring them in-house. Why is it that there is still this procurement of external security that costs you nearly R1 billion, if in fact this insourcing was achieved its purpose, which is to bring the service in-house so that you are not reliant, and yet we see from your expenditure that in fact you are heavily reliant on external security. Can you just explain how it was conceived and how it has worked out or not worked out?
Commissioner Baloy, there's two scenarios here. If you have built your in-house capacity, it goes with your pension fund, it goes with your medical aid, it goes with all that. You must make sure that you have your resources, whether it's uniform, whether it is the vehicles, and you must make sure that they also trained in up to a certain level. So the municipality can, if you look at one officer, you will actually maybe need 4, if you look at the system and everything. So you need to make sure that it's a gradual type of, to insource it takes time. It is not easy. It might look easy, but it's not easy. If you look at the current 1,271, it was already in-house capacity was built or insourced in 2019. At the moment, but we are still busy with the training, and then every year we make sure they get certain benefits. So you need to have a proper plan in place to make sure that you, even if it's small amounts, if I've already drafted a plan how I want to eventually insource, and it will take plus minus 6 years to 7 years to completely insource. It can be quicker, it all depends on budget permitted. However, I just took a plan that is, but if more budget becomes available, it can be quicker. And also the training of you need to train, you need to give uniform. It is really, the cost will be a little bit more than what we have at the moment. But the long term, as you see, I would prefer to have in-house capacity than to sit with the issues that we're sitting with at the moment. To stay away from tenders, and just make sure that we build our in-house capacity. Also, if you're gonna, your infrastructure, you need to have control over your infrastructure yourself. That is what I believe. The moment you outsource, you also don't have completely and full control over your infrastructure, which is critical.
So is it fair, looking at what it is now, which is this heavy reliance on external contractors to provide the service, is it fair to say that even after this first attempt at insourcing, which you say it's 6 years now, is still training, that in fact, even after that, the city continued to be reliant on external?
Yes, it's fair to say.
External services. So
Yes.
it's not as if there was a gain to the city. There may have been a gain to the job security of these security guards who were previously provided by a contractor. There is that gain. But the city itself, it doesn't appear that since that exercise there's been any gain budgetary-wise and control of your own assets. Is that a fair summary?
That is fair, Commissioner.
Yes.
We must also know that the city of Tshwane has got a lot of sites. And if you look at the infrastructure that we are protecting, your reservoirs, your substations, those are things that you cannot leave and wait for until you will be able to insource. Unfortunately, those are the things that you must protect. So the city is at the moment looking and busy with it. Really, to have a more vigorous plan. The city has requested me to come up with a plan that is, like I said, that I've come up with a plan. However, if you look at budget, however, also how budget becomes available, you can, it's a plan that I have to make sure in terms of the budget that I have, and then also a reduction in, we already done an assessment through Deputy Commissioner Revo Spies in terms of how many guards do you really require. For example, at the library, you don't need the same at the library that you will need at the water reservoir. So that assessment we have done already, and also a risk assessment. So in order for us, and we started already with even a reduction when it comes to the security guards.
Is there a municipality, whether a metro or not, that has successfully, if at all, absorbed otherwise outsourced security services, that has brought it in-house and it is provided solely in-house security services?
I think Nelson Mandela, but yes, one or two municipalities that I'm aware of, that they do have their own security department within, and they actually never even had maybe outsourced. So I think there's one or two that didn't even started with outsource.
Yes.
That have their security division that is within the Safety and Security Directorate, and they look after, like I've explained now, after the assets and the personnel of the municipality.
And comparable to Tshwane? I ask because you say you are busy with that project,
Yes,
looking
I am.
at that, and it is budget dependent, really.
Yes, Commissioner.
Metros, especially maybe, that are comparable to Tshwane. Have you done that kind of comparison?
I've done the
seen
comparison.
how successful,
Yes.
whether anyone has done it, and how successful has it been?
I've done that comparison. I went even for fact finding, but they sit with the same issues that I've said, budget dependent. And then also it depends on how many sites you have. If you look at a small municipality, it's easier for them because they just have a little bit of sites. And the type of sites that you have. Is it a site that, like I make an example, is it a library, or are we talking about a big substation that 68% of the city of Tshwane, if that substation is not physically guarded, will be in darkness? I'm just making an example. So I needed to do, and we've done it, myself and Deputy Commissioner Spies, we looked at all of those, and we have plans, and I can promise you, Commissioner, starting with the new financial year, we already actually started with a reduction in security personnel by doing our assessment and looking into it, and certain security companies have received letters that we are doing a reduction in security guard.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Kaka.
Thank you. Just to follow up, is Commissioner Spies, how long is he appointed? Is it on a contract basis? Spies.
Commissioner Spies?
Yes, how long will he be at your deputy commissioner?
He is permanent.
Permanent.
Until he feels he will leave or he reaches the age that he cannot work anymore. So he is permanently at the Tmpd. It's not a contract position.
Okay. Thank you. Please proceed.
And I think I've done the handover.
Paragraph 33.
33. Thank you so much, Evidence Leader. You are so kind. The subject matters required services of the below mentioned tenders were within the umbrella of asset protection and therefore fell within APSS. When Deputy Commissioner Spies took over, he actively engaged in a process of auditing and checking how the unit was operating. As he has testified, he has identified a number of irregularities and all sorts of wrongdoing within the APSS. We are taking some corrective measures in this regard, including consequence management, and we have put procedures for the request for ad hoc services in place. I must continue to caution again that my role is management and therefore I rely on the information provided to me. I also am not very close to the details and therefore the appropriate person to talk to operational matters are those directly responsible for a particular function or department or unit. I'm not saying that I am not briefed. However, I say this to highlight that the most relevant person to talk to APSS and the tenders below obviously was Deputy Commissioner Spies. He already appeared in front of this commission. I do not wish to repeat also what Deputy Commissioner Spies has already said before the commission. I've gone through his statement and documents and they appear accurate in relation to the knowledge I have. I therefore have nothing additional to add to his statement.
Can you please correct the last sentence of paragraph 84? I think what you are trying to say there is you've put controls in place to ensure that